Today's lesson is on using the Pythagorean Theorem. For our first example, we're finding the distance in a coordinate plane. The park is 5 miles east of your home. The library is 4 miles north of the park. How far is your home from the library? Round your answer to the nearest tenth. The first thing to do is plot a point for your home at the origin in the coordinate plane. Then plot points for the locations of the park and the library to form a right triangle. Now we use the Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. You can see that the distance from your home to the park is 5, and the distance from the park to the library is 4. So you can use the Pythagorean theorem. 4 and 5 are both the legs, and we're wanting to find the hypotenuse. So 4 squared plus 5 squared equals c squared. 4 squared equals 16. 5 squared equals 25, so 16 plus 25 equals c squared. 16 plus 25 equals 41, so we have 41 equals c squared. Now we'll take the square root of both sides, and we'll get that the square root of 41 equals 6 4/10, and that then would equal c. This is an approximate answer because we rounded to the nearest tenth, so it's approximately 6 4/10. So your home was about 6 4/10 miles from the library. Now we have an additional example. You can pause the video and try it on your own, or you may follow along. The post office is 3 miles west of your home. Your school is 2 miles north of the post office. How far is your home from your school? Round your answer to the nearest tenth. Well, if you look at our coordinate grid, you can see that our home is at the origin, 0, 0. The post office was 3 miles west, so we went to the left 3 over 3. We went to the left 3. Your school is 2 miles north of the post office. From that point, then we went up 2 for our school. How far is your home from your school? So now we need to find C, which is from school to home. The distance from home to the post office is 3. And the distance from the post office to the school is 2. So if we have a squared plus b squared equals c squared, we'd have from school to the post office is 2, and the post office to home would be 3. So we could say that a is from the post office to school, and that'd be 2, so 2 squared plus the post office to home was 3, so 3 squared equals c squared. And 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, and when we add those up, that's going to equal c squared. So we'll get that 13 equals c squared. And now we'll do the square root of both sides. And the square root of 13, if we round to the nearest tenth, would be 3 6/10. So 3 6/10 is approximately c, or c is about 3 6/10. So it is, C would be about 3 6/10 miles. So the distance from our school to our home is about 3 6/10 miles. Now for our second example, we're using the Pythagorean theorem. Find the height of the firework. Round your answer to the nearest tenth. So we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. We do not know x, which we can say is a. So for a, we'll have x squared, and then b would be 300 because it's the other leg. So then plus 300 squared would be equal to the hypotenuse, or c, which is 335 squared. So again, we don't know x, so we have x squared. 300 squared is 90,000. And that'd be equal to 335 squared, which is 112,225. Now we'll subtract 90,000 from both sides, and we'll get that x squared equals 22,225. Our next step is to take the square root of each side, and we'll get that x is approximately 149 1/10. Remember, we rounded our answer to the nearest tenth. So the height of the firework is about 149 1/10 plus 1 5/10, which would be equal to 150 and 6/10 meters. If you look at our diagram, we had to add the 1 and 5/10 because our triangle is sitting 1 and 5/10 meters up from the ground. Now we have an additional example. You can pause the video and try it on your own, or you may follow along. What if in example 2, the distance between you and the firework is 350 meters? Find the height of the firework. Round your answer to the nearest tenth. So on this problem, it's telling us that the distance, instead of 335, is going to be 350. So our distance, instead of 335, is going to be 350 in this problem. So we're going to change that in our diagram. So now we're going to have a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And so for this problem, we can say that a would represent x. So we'll have x squared plus b squared, and b is going to be our other leg, so 300 squared. And that would be equal to c squared, and we said c is now 350 for this problem. So we'll have 350 squared. So we're going to have x squared plus 300 squared would be 90,000. And that would be equal to 350 squared, which is 122,500. Now we're going to subtract 90,000 from each side. So we're going to get that x squared equals 32,500. We want to know just x, so we'll take the square root of both sides. And we're going to get that x is approximately 180 and 3/10. And the directions of the problem told us to round to the nearest tenth. So that's where we get 180 and 3/10. Again, if you look at our diagram, you can see that we have to add in this 1 and 5/10 because our triangle is sitting up above 1 and 5/10 meters. So we're going to take 180 and 3/10 and add 1 and 5/10. And we will get 181 and 8/10. So it'd be 181 and 8/10 meters. And again, this is approximately because we estimated 180 and 3/10. So it'd be approximately 181 and 8/10 meters. Now we have a vocabulary word, and it's Pythagorean triple. A Pythagorean triple is a set of three positive integers a, b, and c, or a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now for our key idea, for the converse of the Pythagorean theorem. If the equation a squared plus b squared equals c squared is true for the side lengths of a triangle, then the triangle is a right triangle. When using the converse of the Pythagorean theorem, always substitute the length of the longest side for c. For our third example, we're identifying a right triangle. Tell whether the given triangle is a right triangle. So for A, the three lengths that we have are 9 centimeters, 40 centimeters, and 41 centimeters. The longest side is going to be C. So we're going to test this and see if it is a right triangle. So A and B would be 9 and 40. So we can say that a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So we can have 9 squared plus 40 squared is equal to 41 squared. We're going to see if this is true. 9 squared is 81, 40 squared is 1,600, and 41 squared is 1,681. So we're going to have 81 plus 1,600 is equal to 1,681. When we add up the left-hand side, we get 1,681, and that's equal to the right-hand side, which is 1,681. Since the left and the right sides equal each other, it is a right triangle. For B, our three sides are 18 feet, 12 feet, and 24 feet. Our longest side is going to be C. So for A and B, we'll have 18 and 12. It doesn't matter which order we put those in. So we're going to have 12 squared plus 18 squared equals 24 squared. 12 squared is 144. 18 squared is 324. And 24 squared is 576. So we're going to find out if 144 plus 324 equals 576. When we add the left-hand side, we get 468, and that is not equal to 576. So this is not a right triangle. Now we have our third additional example. You can pause the video and try it on your own, or you may follow along. Tell whether the triangle with the given side lengths is a right triangle. So for number 3, we have our side lengths of 45 meters, 36 meters, and 27 meters. 45 is the longest side, so we're going to say that is C. So we're going to have 36 squared plus 27 squared, and that would be equal to 45 squared. And we're going to see if this is true. We don't know right now if this is true. 36 squared is 1,296. 27 squared is 729. And 45 squared is 2,025. So now we're going to add up the left-hand side. And when we do that, we get 2,025, and that is equal to the right-hand side, which is 2,025. So yes, this is a right triangle. For number 4, our side lengths are 28 inches, 21 inches, and 20 inches. Our longest side is 28 inches. So that is going to be C. So we're going to have 20 inches, and we'll square that, plus 21 inches squared, and that's equal to 28 squared. 20 squared is equal to 400. 21 squared is equal to 441. And 28 squared is equal to 784. Again, we're trying to see if this is a right triangle, so we don't know right now if this is actually equal. The left-hand side, if you add that up, is going to give you 841. And that's going to be equal to 784. Since these two numbers are not equal, then no, this is not a right triangle. Don't forget to fill out your notes, and remember to watch the video again if needed.